It is another beautiful morning here in Kuala Lumpur. It's a Saturday morning, 25 degrees. And as I say this, I realize that for the entire past week, it's been fairly cool here. I've noticed that in the mornings, usually up until around noon, it's uncharacteristically cool. And I'm not really sure why. My Northern Hemisphere viewers might think that, well, Bill, that's because it's winter. But that's not really the case. It doesn't really get cool in this part of the world just because it's winter time. But anyway, it's one of those quirks. I'm not complaining. I love it. 25 degrees or more or less is really good. I like that. This morning, I'm walking towards KL Central so I can get on the LRT and visit a place I've never been before, which is the Jaya Shopping Center. I'm meeting a friend for lunch or breakfast or whatever you want to call it, depending on when we reach there, I guess. But that's going to entail a walk to KL Central, the LRT ride, and then a walk to the Jaya Shopping Center, which I think is in Petaling Jaya. Not really sure where it is. I'm giving Apple Maps another try, so I'll keep you informed as the journey continues. The best part about Saturday mornings, of course, is that there's less traffic, so it's far easier to cross the roads. And where I am right now is downtown. I consider this pretty much the center of town. I'm not sure whether it really is or not, but that's the way I consider it. This is usually a congested area, but not on Saturdays, at least not early on Saturdays. It'll probably get congested later on. Some of this may look familiar because last week the lovely and talented Lady Aisha and I took a trip over to the Perdana Botanical Gardens, and this was pretty much the route we took through KL Central. This is the new central portion of it, which is mainly a shopping mall. And as I'm heading now over into the area that used to be the train, well, it still is the train station, I'm going to be getting on the LRT and heading south, I think. Later today, I may be heading to Auntie Anne's Pretzels. It is Saturday, so that's my day for eating irresponsibly. So I might try to do that with some pretzels. Okay, this is where I am, and this is where I'm going. I estimate it should take about 15 minutes. Well, I found out on the train that this station is not called Asia Jaya. It's pronounced Asya Jaya. I should have known better. Anyway, I'm here. Now we have I think a 20-minute walk to the Jaya Shopping Center. When I come to Kuala Lumpur now, I spend so much time downtown, which is an area I'm very familiar with, that whenever I venture out into a place that I've not been before, even though it's clearly still part of the city, it still seems like a big adventure, like I'm Admiral Byrd or something like that. Fernando Magellan. It's kind of silly, I know. I'm also taking quite a chance with Apple Maps. Some of you may recall that I had a problem with Apple Maps in Cambodia earlier in this trip, where it simply would not give me directions. And completely out of frustration, I deleted the app from my phone and decided to use Google Maps instead. Upon further reflection, I decided it's possible, and I emphasize the word possible, that I was using the app incorrectly. So I've given it a second try, and I've been using it for the past 2 weeks, mostly to okay results. It doesn't estimate distances very well. 20 meters is more like 100 meters. And the little blue dot that indicates where you are on the map is never quite where you think it should be. It's close, but not quite accurate. But anyway, I'm using that as my guide today. So if I reach my destination, Apple Maps will get full marks for today's journey. That's my destination, and as per usual, I'm like 3 generations early. I've got to go into the shopping center and get up to the 4th level. We're eating at a Indian vegetarian restaurant, possibly one of my favorite kinds of restaurants, and it's a buffet, so I don't have to remember the names of any foods at all. Yeah, generationally early. I like that term. I'm going to try to work it into the lingo. Okay, I'm on the 2nd level now, I think, and I need to go to the 4th level. I'm trying to maneuver around here with a camera and a coffee is courting disaster, but it's okay. I think I can do it. I'm a professional. Don't try this at home. I have the same problem when I try to do this with a camera and an umbrella, which is not unusual in Kuala Lumpur. Well, first mistake of the morning. I'm up here on level 4. I'm asking everyone where the Indian restaurant is, thinking that since it's a vegetarian place, it must be Indian. But it turns out it's a Chinese restaurant, vegetarian Chinese restaurant. So at least I know I'm in the right place. I just had the wrong kind of food. All right, well, the lunch is completed. My friend doesn't like to be in my videos yet. I'm going to talk her into it one of these days. We used to work together during the 2017 SEA Games when they were held here in Kuala Lumpur. Her company and the company that I worked for had some kind of joint venture, or whatever you want to call it. The companies worked together to help put on the SEA Games in terms of facilities and infrastructure and things like that. And that's how we met. So she has since changed jobs several times since 2017, and I have retired since then. But whenever I'm in Malaysia, we always catch up for something, lunch or dinner or something like that. Anyway, I'm now heading back to Asia Jaya LRT station, and I have to report that Apple Maps did an excellent job so far. It got me to the place that I needed to go, and I'm very pleased with the way it worked. So Apple Maps is almost redeeming itself. I have to tell you about the restaurant that we ate in. It's called Dar Su, and it's on certain days of the week, Saturday being one of them, the other ones being, well, you can look that up. It offers a buffet lunch. I'm not sure how long the buffet goes, but it opened at 11 and the buffet started right then today. But it was Chinese vegetarian, and I have to report that it was delicious. Jaya Shopping Center, Dar Su Restaurant, 4th level. if you're in the area. Well, this area of Petaling Jaya is a combination of residential and industrial area. So there's very little in the way of sidewalks, or as my Southeast Asian comrades would say, pavements. Sidewalks are referred to as pavements here. And you'll say, Bill, what do they call roads? Well, they either call it a road, or the technical term is carriageway. So if you're on the carriageway, you're usually driving a vehicle. If you're on the pavement, you're usually walking along the carriageway. Holy cow. Both Apple Maps and Google Maps have completely let me down. Neither one seems to know where I am. And so I had to figure out how I was going to get back to where I started, which was Asia Jaya LRT station. The first try was Apple Maps leading me to in the middle of nowhere. It said I had arrived at my destination and there was no destination there. I tried again, same thing. Tried to send me back to the same place. So I figured, well, Google Maps will work. Google Maps, however, instead of directing me to the LRT station, insisted on giving me the times of the trains. And I couldn't see any way to get it to give me directions from where I was. Needless to say, it was a mess. I ended up walking in the motorcycle lane for the highway until I finally figured out a way to exit that and get on what I guess would typically be called a surface road. And as luck would have it, I am familiar with this surface road, and I know where there is an LRT station nearby. But it's not the one I was looking for. But it will do. But I'm going to try to get to the bottom of this. I don't know what went wrong with the maps. Apple Maps, I fear, well, this was just Apple Maps acting up again. But I'm not sure what happened with Google Maps. Normally, Google Maps works flawlessly. And I was just giving Apple Maps a chance to redeem itself, which, as far as I can tell, my first impression is that it failed miserably. But I may have more to say about that before the end of this video. We've made it to the Taman Jaya station, heading back to Kuala Lumpur. I don't know how we got here. I don't know why the maps didn't work. But at least we're at the proper station now, or at least a station. Well, I think that'll do it for this video. When I get to the bottom of the Apple Maps, Google Maps problem, I'll report that in another video coming up on the digital singularity. Not exactly sure when that's going to be published, probably several months from now. But I'm going to try to get to the bottom of that because it is kind of annoying. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.